Is your host, Reika Fujishima, also known as Hikaru Kazushime online. With us today, brand new, but also returning to our Azure Infinitum podcast, is Sebastian Lacroix, Infinitum General in our community. Thanks for coming back and joining us, Sebastian.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
Yay, Fizzyfish!
Yay.
Sebastian recently rejoined our leadership team here in Azure, and I think we'd all like to know, what have you been up to in that time away, Sebastian?
Well, as a good number of people know, I had stepped down last year back, I think it was in August or September. A lot of stuff going on in real life and just things that were piling up that I needed to take care of, and I felt bad staying on the leadership team while doing that because I was going to be away from the game for at least a good few months, if not almost half a year, which thankfully it didn't take that long to clear out, but it still was something that I wanted to focus on. I've come back though, and I have been meaning to hop back on to 14 and kind of catch up on the story because, unlike you guys, I have not had a chance to play through the 6.3 story, so it's all fresh for me.
Man.
I'm waiting for my partner Alice to get a few issues on her end fixed so that way we can go through the story together. But in the meantime, I've mainly just been focusing on playing a lot of Overwatch 2. I've always been really big into competitive FPS games, and Overwatch has been scratching that itch because I was just not really a fan of the new Battlefield that came out. And outside of that, just been playing not playing work. Been doing a lot of stuff at work and in my spare time when I'm not gaming, and I just kind of want to get a little short session. I've been playing a lot of Azure Lane.
Oh, Azure Lane.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
I like it.
Isn't that the one where, like,
Yeah.
isn't that the one where, like, hey, let's take all these battleships and make them Japanese anime girls?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
there was
just
an
pretty
anime
much,
version of it too.
Yeah, Azure Lane, fun fact, Azure Lane was, like, I believe inspired by another product called Kantai Collection, which came out prior, but Azure Lane seems to be a lot more accessible because the company that makes Kantai is a little bit picky on region locking their game.
Oh yeah, it's very directly inspired by Kantai Collection, and you can actually see, especially in their very early designs, that it looks almost straight ripped from the game with a few tweaks here and there. They've developed their own style.
Version.
Yeah,
Oh
the Wish.com. Yeah, there's a good few ships at the launch of the game that do look like a Wish.com version of the Kane Cole girls, but they've kind of developed their own style, and they now feel very wholly different.
I've seen that.
Like like you have said, it's just Kantai Collection is very difficult to get into if you do not live within Japan, so Azure Lane's like that starter area.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, when there's a lot of art that is shared from Azure Lane out there, like, in the art world, and there's quite a bit of nice looking characters. I'll just say that. quite a handful of them that I respectfully appreciate from afar. But very nice, good choice. There is a PS4 game, I think, and PC that came out not too long ago. Are you playing that, or are you playing the mobile, like the original?
Yeah, Crosswave is what you're thinking of.
Okay.
I'm playing the mobile game. I have it also got ported to PC, and it is on like my to buy list. But right now, just trying to put money towards other things, so
Oh yeah,
video games are not on the project right now.
understandable.
But as
Yeah.
soon as I have some money set aside, that is definitely one I'm going to be picking up.
Oh yeah. What was I gonna say? The Azure Lane game, is there any difference in what country like the ships are from? Because I know like a lot of them were Japanese warships in Contact Collection, but for Azure Lane, that's what I meant. Azure Lane, is there like more than just Japanese warships, or is there like Chinese
yeah.
warships?
So funny you actually do say that. When the game launched, it was very much like Contact Collection, to where there was a handful of Japanese and U.S. ships and then some German ships, but it has now expanded to where not only do you have more of those factions, but you also have a lot more British and then French ships in. There's also a few Chinese ships that have been added within the past year or so. And just recently, they actually have an event going on to where they have added a new ship called Indomitable, which is based off of Britain's final, I guess you could say, World War II carrier that they created, and a whole bunch of other planned British cruisers that were supposed to enter production during the war, but they never got around to doing them.
Oh, interesting. I love stuff like that. It's a totally different game, but it reminds me of a fun fact from Battlefield 3 back in the day. There was a gun that actually did not exist at all, but it was in the game based on blueprints. It was the PDWR, and it never actually come out, but was released as a usable gun in the game. So I love stuff that you play a game, with like military technology or vehicles, and you get to see something that didn't actually get completed in real life. Kind of reminded me of that a bit.
The PDWR. There were so many people who would run around with that in Operation Metro.
Fellow Battlefield player, I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that and the remember that the USAS 12 shotgun before they patched it.
Yeah, when that close quarters combat DLC came out with all those short maps, that was like the weapon to run around with.
Yep.
Didn't matter what you were playing, you just turned a corner and whoever had the fastest reaction time won.
Oh my god, those were the days. Those were the days. Battlefield 3 and its expansions were just like it was really nice. Back when Battlefield actually was, decent. It's been a while since I made a good Battlefield game.
I was about to say they're trying to give us Battlefield, was it 2042 or whatever?
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? That was meant to be like the Battlefield of Battlefields. Like they were going to adding all these different classes and time periods and all this stuff you could do beyond the regular game, and it's the near future setting. There was also like a sort of like sandbox mode type multiplayer things you could do. You could set your own custom matches where everybody has just defibrillators running around and World War I people versus like future people, and just it was pretty crazy looking. And then it came out and it was a huge dud. And I mean, some people enjoy it, and that's great. That's great, but it did not do. I hope so. I hope so, because it was straight up broken.
Yeah, when it launched, it flopped. It was way too ambitious for what they were trying to do.
I saw that sucker go all the way down to $10 online. And earlier today, it's really funny you mention this, because earlier today, I was just browsing PSN Store just to see what it looked like, because I haven't been on there in a while. And I saw them trying to sell Battlefield 2042 for like $60 digital, and I'm like, oh, I feel so sorry for anybody that buys that.
Yeah, next month it's free for Essential.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's the Essential game. Yeah, we're getting that, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did see the Code Vein announcement.
Is a good game.
Yeah.
Code Vein. Now that is a fantastic game.
Ooh, you know what? Since we're on the topic of PlayStation and Sony, did anybody watch the State of Play yesterday?
I watched some of it.
Yeah?
I read the bullet point cliff notes.
Yeah, did you see anything interesting on there? Or?
I'll be honest, I literally just watched it for the Destiny announcement and then went back to
Yeah, pretty much. Sounds about right.
Well, they played like a pretty cool trailer, and then there was a number of other updates on games we kind of already knew about. A couple things we didn't. Personally, not a whole lot that was for me personally, like that I was interested in. But I saw some new footage and characters from Street Fighter 6 and some other fun stuff. But I don't know, like it's hard sometimes in games. You know, the franchise has been around for so long, and they start to change over time, and the art style starts to change, and it's just kind of like hard to connect with sometimes. That's just kind of how I am for some things. And then you got other things that stay the same or just get bad releases. But like I seen the new Valkyrie game from Square is already down to like $30 something. So I was like, oh, there's probably a reason for that.
I have to assume it's because they're still playing it like Valkyrie Profile 2. And people are like, we're over this kind of game. But for me, that's exactly what I want. Like,
yeah, I think some people mentioned it kind of looked like it, but then it's more, it's just more of like an action RPG, like not even like, I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, I mean, I never judge a game until I play it, all the way. So, or at least to some significant degree. But and if it's a Square game, I'm gonna love it regardless, even if it's bad. That's just how I am. But Square published games are generally pretty good if they're even if they're developed by other studios, like the Square Tomb Raider games. Definitely.
Phenomenal.
I kind of feel like if Square makes a bad game, it's at least above a lot of other like sort of bad games from.
Well, I don't know. What was that other wannabe MMO they had that like crashed within like 2 weeks?
Outriders.
No. Outriders is decent, and
I
that's
forgot
also
that even
on
existed.
Extra now.
I still play Outriders every now and then.
I'm probably going to install it at some point because it's on PlayStation Extra, so it's just like
I
free,
don't actually, is it crossplay? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Not sure. I have
If
to
it's
look it up.
crossplay, I'll play with you.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure.
yeah.
So I'm on PC and I have a almost maxed out
What would be awesome
character.
if you're listening to this podcast and you're one of our listeners. It would be awesome if you typed in the comments if it is crossplay or not. That way, we all know and we can play together.
Yeah.
I mean, by that time, we may also test this by the time we get around to that.
Yeah,
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to give them a reason to comment.
Oh, I know.
Gotta get those algorithms up, man.
Google that right now.
I'm sorry! Oh, no!
Going back to the state of play,
I just
though.
dropped
Yeah.
15 motes.
Yeah, back to the state of play.
Yeah, I did not watch it, but I did go through like a Kotaku article that kind of listed
Okay,
everything.
like a summary.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3 and that Resident Evil 4
Oh!
remake. Last year, Alice basically pestered me into playing Resident Evil 4 after we went through Village together.
Oh.
Nice.
And I enjoyed it. It was a little bit difficult to get to because I couldn't get the port running really well, but seeing the remake and kind of seeing some of the zones that I do recognize from my playthrough being so dramatically changed has me very excited to see what Capcom plans to do.
It does look good. It does look really good.
They finally hit the point where the style they're making their current remakes in is what the style was back then. Like, everything since 4 has been 4 style, with the exception of, like, 7 and Village. But they made 2 play like 4, they made 3 play like 4, and now they're making 4, I don't know, just like play like 4. Like,
that's a really good point, and I feel like Resident Evil is a series that's been able to stay successful despite like you know how games today are like under the weight of modern expectations and technology, and a lot of times that crushes them, especially long running franchises where fans see a game release under something that kind of have the same expectations of what it was in the past, and then they expect a little bit of improvements, but then all of a sudden the developer gets like too creative, and there's this it's massively different, and then it disappoints people, and say if it's not good in the slightest, and it's also disappointing because it's not what they wanted, it falls apart. But if you look at 7 and 8 or Village, massive successes, like the Resident Evil name sold it, and then the people liked it when they did play it. And you look at the the popular characters from Village, specifically the big tall vampire lady.
Step on me.
And that sold the game alone. So I mean, Resident Evil is a great example of a franchise that can change its formula up, including its style to some degree, and then still just kick a ton of butt. So, but yeah.
Village
I
was
want
my
them to
first
remaster
Resident
the
Evil
Outbreak
game.
games.
Sorry, what?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Village was my first Resident Evil game, but I have gone back and played 2 Remake and 4, and I'm kind of working my way through 3 right now. And I gotta say, going back to those older games and playing them, it does make me appreciate Village a lot more, because it feels like almost a best of collection of all of the previous Resident Evils, because every single zone of the game feels like its own separate homage to a previous Resident Evil, and it makes it really enjoyable to go back and play these older games, having played Village and getting to see some of the influence that they found, and also where the roots of it gone. It's kind of the same for me with like Persona. I recently just beat Persona 3, and it gave me a much deeper appreciation for Persona 4 because it's like so many of the items and systems that were in Persona 4 that I loved found their baby steps in 3, and I could really appreciate the growth that they had.
Oh yeah, like having full character control was massive. Being able to choose which moves you overwrote when your party members leveled up.
Yeah. Also having very in-depth social links that went somewhere and weren't basically, "Hey, how are you? Okay, rank up time."
Social links just reminds me of Persona.
I was gonna say one thing that I wish they would bring back from Persona 3 is that you could reverse a social link.
I forgot about that.
That was an interesting mechanic, yeah.
Because like if you are dating a chick and you were out somewhere and you ran into another one, it's like, well, that person kind of hates you now. As they should, you 2-timing or up to like 6 or 7 timing asshole.
Bit of a hot take, but one system that I would like to see them bring from Persona 3 into another game is the fatigue system. I really appreciated what the fatigue system brought into a gameplay sense, because it really sold the idea that the place you were exploring was very dangerous and was very draining on you physically and mentally.
Actually, talking about fatigue systems, like stamina of characters, it was Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, I haven't played that in forever. That's a deep cut. I like that.
I haven't touched that in forever.
One thing I appreciate that Sebastian used the word homage.
Yes.
And it just sounded like it rolled right off the tongue. But when I hear that word, it makes me think of like some type of cheese. Like, I don't know why. Like, maybe because of like, homage.
Fromage.
That's why. Yeah, that must be it. That's it right there.
That's exactly what
I went to Texas Lab and
try our brand new homage cheese. It'll make you remember what your grandma used to make.
Oh, man.
Oh,
wow.
That should just be a brand name.
So in 14, it would have like +3, like mind and intelligence, because it's like a mental thing. The cheese of remembrance.
The cheese of remembrance.
Boy. So, Sebastian, you've been playing a lot of Overwatch 2. You want to elaborate a little bit more on like that game, because that is not something I've touched yet, and I'm a huge Overwatch fan for number one. What if I was to go into it being a fan from number one? What should I expect?
So, just to give a brief summary of what changed from 1 to 2, one tank was removed, so now it's a pure 5v5 of one tank, 2 DPS, 2 supports, and to kind of compensate for that, tank has now evolved from a role that kind of just passively helps the team to being a very active role that you have to constantly be thinking forward about. So many changes have happened to every single tank in the game that they basically play much differently than what they played in Overwatch 1. Like, for example, Reinhardt, which I think is like the poster tank of that game, now has the ability to cancel his charge and has multiple fire strikes that he can send out, and his hammer is a lot more scary to be up against than it was in Overwatch 1. Aside from that, the game is much, much faster now, instead of it being kind of the slow, almost I would say like football aspect of it, to where you're kind of taking inch by inch. It's now more of a objective focused deathmatch. For our Battlefield fans here, if you've ever played Rush, think of it that way, of where it's very much focused on a singular point on the map, and then it instantly falls over if there's a good team fight that happens. So matches feel a lot quicker than they do. It's very fast paced, very focused, and things can happen on a dime. For fans of Overwatch 1, or not really, I should say, I guess, for people who have not played Overwatch 1 or don't really know what Overwatch is, it is a hero-focused team shooter that is...
It's a mobile shooter.
Yeah, it's a mobile shooter that is focused on objective play. The 3 modes: payload, which is basically pushing a bomb down the site; push, which is very reminiscent.
It's Crystalline Conflict.
Yeah, it is Crystalline Conflict in Overwatch.
It really is.
And then you also have King of the Hill, which I think we all know what King of the Hill is whenever I say that name. So.
Oh my God. Butterfree.
It went there.
That gameplay ain't right.
And
That's
I've really
my
been enjoying it. Like I said earlier, I've always been big into competitive first-person shooters, and a few friends of mine kind of told me to try it out and play with them, and I did, and I fell in love with it, and I've kind of been hard focusing it and playing the competitive mode, just kind of climb the ranks. It's it brings out the worst in me, but it also brings out the best of me, and it very much gives me the same kind of love-hate relationship that I would have with Battlefield, of where I would love to play the game and I love playing it, but there are just some days to where I hate every aspect of it because I'm just getting steamrolled.
I don't know. We've talked about. I think you and I both talked about the way we play online shooters, or at least the way we played them in the past. And I think the worst of you is actually a fun guy, because we talked about getting down into knifing and chasing people down and
finding that one person
taking
who has been
tags.
sniping you from a building. Yep. So you just parachute on top of them. What I like to do is. Whenever I'm playing a match and there is a Widowmaker who is basically the definitive sniper and she's harassing the enemy team, I will go, if I'm playing DPS, I'll go on Sombra, which is basically like a stealth-focused assassin, and I will just sneak up to them and I will wait for them to be so focused on the enemy that they will not see me and just pummel them.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
It is always
of Sombra.
Yep. It is always so funny to do that.
Overwatch.
It's always so funny to do that and then see match chat, them just screaming and yelling and being like, "Get off of me! Get off of me! Stop focusing me!
Stop focusing me! Stop sniping my entire goddamn team!"
It's funny because
Exactly.
when playing the objective becomes a new objective, revenge becomes the objective.
Exactly.
There were plenty of matches back and WoW that I would just be like, oh, we're supposed to be pushing, but this dude is a dick, so this dude is getting focused.
Good times.
We could push
Those
and
are fun
win.
times,
Nope, we can't push and win. This guy has to die forever.
All right. Well, knowing that about Overwatch 2, I've got it installed. I was thinking about giving it a try. I played a lot of number 1, and I really loved the characters and world and all that stuff. Even outside the game, comics and more. And I just wasn't sure because I saw it go free to play, and also a lot of characters I've never seen or heard of before. So I'm all for new characters. I was kind of wanted to make sure some of my favorites were in there. Can you still play as D.Va or Mercy?
Yes.
Yeah, the entire Overwatch 1 cast has been brought over.
Oh, they still are? Okay.
Yeah, every single character that they've ever introduced in Overwatch 1 has been brought over. I can't say that they'll play exactly as you remember it because so many characters got reworked coming into this game.
That makes sense.
To fit the more fast-paced nature, but yeah. D.Va is actually another character I love to play as well, and compared to how she is in Overwatch 1, she's basically a brand new character with how she plays.
Wow.
I say, I know Alice plays Mercy a lot, and Mercy changed a little bit. Mercy can actually get in there a bit now.
Yeah, with the swap over to Overwatch 1, they removed Mercy's more passive, just sitting in the back line healing, to where she's now more focused on basically flying in the air and healing the team while being a very difficult target to shoot at.
That's cool. Yeah, I loved...
I'm bad at it, Reika. Let's be bad at it together. Let's go.
I loved...
I have a Sojourn main. Enough said.
just self-destructing on D.Va's robot and just letting it glide towards somebody while it was about to explode was hilarious.
and new players are going to have to unlock everybody.
Yeah.
Through different means. But if you're a returning player from Overwatch 1, a legacy player, most of your shit's already unlocked.
Really? Okay. Well,
just carried over.
Good to know. That's good to know.
Just use the same account.
What are you playing on PC, Sebastian?
Yes, I've been playing it on PC. I do have it. It is crossplay through other consoles, so you can play it on whatever and play with everybody.
Okay.
And occasionally, if I just want to sit on the couch and play some more Overwatch, I'll boot it up on my PS4.
I downloaded it in what I believe...
Definitely crossplay, because I've played with Sebastian a couple of times, and I only have PS4.
Might be the most unpopular place to play it, but I downloaded it on my Switch. Not great for FPS games.
Yeah.
'Cause I was just like, everything else is like full on the hard drive, so let's just try this because I wasn't sure what to expect. But
Go 20 frames a second.
Well, I think the last Nintendo successfully made an FPS was GoldenEye.
really,
I mean,
there's got to be more.
No, Halo Combat Evolved.
That was not
That's the
Nintendo.
That was not
Halo
Nintendo.
game. No, not Nintendo, but I mean like in terms of like most influential.
No, I'm about just
First-person shooter.
Nintendo making first.
Yeah, just like a Nintendo
Oh,
FPS.
Oh yeah, then
Wait,
yeah,
what
either
about-
GoldenEye or
What about Metroid Prime?
I was gonna say yeah, like I
Yeah,
think Golden.
that's
Yeah.
true. Metroid is
Yeah, I was
very
gonna say,
Metroid
like,
Prime,
GoldenEye is
and also
popular, but I feel like
Perfect
Metroid-
Dark was really good too.
Oh
Perfect
yeah,
Dark used the
you
same
can't forget,
engine
you can't
as-
forget Perfect Dark. Yeah, at
Perfect
least
Dark
the
used the
original.
same engine as
Nintendo title.
GoldenEye, but it was more refined.
Yeah,
I'm bad at Metroid, but it is one
I have a
of those
feeling.
classics.
And
Yeah.
also, Misty, if you're saying that Perfect Dark isn't Nintendo, then GoldenEye isn't Nintendo either, because they're
No,
both
I
rare.
forgot it was Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Perfect
Because the
Dark
second
sequel
one was
was on the
Xbox.
360. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird, but it's I feel like that's a franchise they're sleeping on, but I don't know. I feel like there's got to at least be another decent shooter on a Nintendo console. I mean, there's been what 3-4 consoles
Splatoon.
since
Splatoon.
the
Splatoon
64.
Splatoon is really good.
Okay, but
Splatoon is really good.
I mean,
if
with
you're
guns,
just looking for like
guns,
well, Borderlands, but it's not PvP.
like not multi-platform, just Nintendo and with guns, and it's good.
That is
See?
Okay,
That's a good
so
question, isn't it?
shooter games,
Yeah.
shooter games that are on the Switch currently. We have Neon White.
Exclusive to the Switch?
No, it's not exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about exclusives, and that's why I'm like, GoldenEye,
We're trying to
that's
find
like
a
it.
really good exclusive shooter. First
Metroid
person.
GoldenEye and Prime. That's about it.
But both of those were already around before too. So, well, this is perfect.
Well, they're still
for,
Nintendo exclusive.
You know what this is perfect for? This is perfect for a shout out to our listeners who could tell us in the comments below if you
Right.
know of any possible good shooters on a Nintendo console that is not multi-platform and is exclusive to a Nintendo console. That would be awesome. We would love to know, and then maybe we'll play it and talk about it on a future podcast episode. Who knows?
Watch
The
them in the
Bulletstorm
comments like,
remake.
wow, I can't believe these hosts don't know about X game.
Oh, man.
Oh,
There's the Bulletstorm remake. Yes.
I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Like I feel like there's something like because I almost said another James Bond game, but then I realized that was multi-platform.
yeah.
As
I'm trying to think of like
well
just
over here looking at my
straight up
GameCube library
Nintendo.
while we talk. Maybe there's something on a handheld that's Nintendo, but I don't know.
There was Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, I guess. Like,
But Metroid can't win like every time. Like that there's a FPS. I don't know.
if we're talking about like shooting in general, how do you feel about the Super Scope?
I was gonna say.
Super
Oh wait,
Scope.
no, that's not. I was thinking of something. Oh, the Super Scope.
Because
Oh my God.
Metal
my God.
Combat is the shit.
You're actually holding the gun in real life. Like is that an FPS? Like is Duck Hunt an FPS?
Is it?
That's a
an interesting
really good question. Oh my god. That's gonna be like the title of this episode.
It's like I
No, just
played
joking.
the crap out of my Super Scope, and there was Metal Combat, and then the sequel, and it was you were in a mech, and like the other mech would fly around the screen and shoot at you and stuff, and you had to shoot it with the Super Scope. And those games are awesome. I
What if
love
there's
those games.
What if there's no gun at all? What if it's like the U-Force?
Oh God.
At least one person remembers the U-Force.
The U-Force.
That thing that just sucked at everything it tried to do. Yeah.
It was so bad. Like does anybody here not know what the U-Force was? You guys all know?
I do not.
You don't know?
I don't know what the
Okay,
It
imagine
was a
like there's
shitty
this thing.
sensor array on the ground.
Yeah, like you unfold it like a laptop or like a briefcase, and you just like leave it open, and then you wave your hands around in front of it, and it was supposed to
Okay,
control stuff on the screen.
I know you're talking. Like,
It was really
before
crappy.
Kinect was Kinect.
So the Wish.com Connect.
This came out in like the early 90s or the late 80s. I don't
It
know
was
which
at the
one.
same time
It
as
was
the
early 90s.
as
Yeah.
I wanna say, like-
the VR thing.
It was a long time ago.
It was
and-
like 93.
and it was
somewhere
horrible.
around there.
I seen someone like trying to play like a fighting game with it, and it barely worked at all. Like it just barely.
The U-Force is almost as ineffectual as the Power Glove. Like,
But see, that's a good question. Is if there's no gun at all, like is like what is that? First person what? Like just first person?
Poking?
First person poking?
first person finger bang.
First person action game.
Josh, please
Yeah,
never say that
okay.
again. Not on the podcast, at least.
Just no.
Alrighty, well, speaking of games that we are playing, what games we're looking forward to, one thing we're looking forward to for sure, at least many of us are, and including our Azure Wing, the Azure Wardens over in Destiny 2, we have Destiny 2 Lightfall expansion. Yep,
Yes.
coming out
Also, I'm a little
pretty soon
disappointed by
here.
the
How many days ago? Like
reveal
4
trailer
weeks?
music. It wasn't that cool synth music we've been getting through all the teasers.
Which trailer? The launch trailer or the?
trailer.
Yeah?
The big trailer they gave us during the state of play. Like every teaser up until
launch
now, has been
trailer.
this cool cyberpunk synth music.
Oh,
And there was that.
I
okay.
feel you. Like, I actually really liked the song from the launch trailer.
Oh no,
just
I don't
didn't think-
dislike the song.
It
I was
doesn't
just expecting
fit.
more synth.
Is it like what is it like an orchestra or is it like something?
No,
epic,
it's
or
like really, really
like a pop song.
ambient. This is what you get
Oh.
when you mess with us. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
We'll see for a launch trailer. It's kind of like the feeling of this is imminent. You know, like something is about to happen. But the other trailers had like the feel, the cyberpunky like synth.
They had
feel.
a very synth.
I could see
music
that.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that
Yeah.
happening. There's probably going to be like a ton of synth like stuff.
They
going
were-
on, so
Oh,
they were big
Yeah.
and actiony, and this trailer they want to make sure that they punch up the vocal notes, like the people actually talking
yeah,
during the
true.
trailer.
oh okay.
So they used a quieter kind of, almost like whispered cover of a song, and I like the cover, but and I like the trailer. That's not what Destiny 2 music is to me. Like,
No, it's not.
Gotcha.
No.
No, like you can in like most of the ambient music in Destiny 2, you can hear the influence from Martin O'Donnell and his team on the original Halo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just love hanging out in Destiny 2. Completely
Just
side
listen to
note.
the music.
Just hanging out in the bar when I go to see Spider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like I'll just hang out in the bar and just listen to the music until it
Or-
repeats songs.
Yeah, or just punch the jukebox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's like 4 songs that play in there, and they're all good. And 2 of them are written originally for Destiny 2.
So I have a couple questions. As somebody, myself, and anybody else that might be getting into Destiny still, maybe a newer player or coming back after a long break, what is going on? If, for you guys here who are Destiny pros, what is actually going on in the story in Lightfall? Like, what is the premise?
Massive
Oh,
spoilies.
shit.
Like,
Let's just talk about like whatever's been promoted, like any promotional.
I mean, the problem is
descriptions.
like some of the stuff that's been promoted isn't even stuff you can encounter in the game unless you've been doing the Ghost Collection stuff since D1.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
but just generally, I mean, what is it
I
like
mean,
a big
generally,
invasion's going on, or is it like?
I don't even know if you recall that when this is doing an invasion at this point with all the fan theories flying around.
But you're going to Neptune, right?
It's definitely an invasion.
Doesn't it have something to do with Neptune?
All the
you seen that
pyramids are
already?
showing up. Like,
Listen, all I'm going to say is I'm firing my laser, apparently.
yeah.
Maybe as a better question, since I do know it was the most popular expansion for Destiny 2, as someone who has not played since Forsaken, what's changed?
A lot. Forsaken isn't in the game at all anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything Forsaken and earlier has been vaulted from the game's contents.
Yeah. It's basically at this point, it's Shadowkeep Plus is what's
yeah,
current.
Shadowkeep Onward is what's current, yeah.
Yep.
The major changes have mostly been mechanical. They introduced a thing called the Artifact each season, which gives you unique perks and armor mods that help you specifically in that season's events.
Yeah, and it changes from season to season how you power it up or how you put things on it.
Actually, speaking of which, we're getting a huge change to the artifact next season, apparently.
Yeah, they are. It's gonna
So
be
it's-
like just a skill tree now, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be a passive skill tree now instead of mods, apparently.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Yeah, speaking
The
of
last time I was playing was during Beyond Light, and I think it was Season of the Chosen was the one where it's like
Oh yeah.
where
That's one of the first ones that introduced the artifact, and that was a
well,
mess.
Season of the Hunt had an artifact too,
Mm-hmm.
but like it was
It
the one
did,
right after
yeah.
Season of the Hunt where the Cabal general's daughter's like, I'm gonna take over the Cabal and screw you, and
Fair,
that's
she
when
did.
like.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, the Zavala's, like, fuck you speech happened.
I'll be
love that
honest,
speech so much.
Zavala had some of the most badass scenes. Much as I miss Cade, like, since Cade's death, Zavala has really seemed to have come out of his shell as a true
Yeah.
leader in the Vanguard,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
has just been coming out with these amazing speeches.
Like, nobody's ever gonna match Cade. But,
Yeah.
like, Zavala's putting in work.
So, like, in regards to the story in general, that was something that was like a huge pet peeve of mine when I was getting into Destiny recently. Was
Right.
I'm doing everything in order, just going the way I usually go in games, and like with 14 and stuff, and all of a sudden, bam! Like it's like
Yeah, it's gone.
this just whole storyline just like cuts off out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, you're expected to just go into present time, and
Yep.
I was just like, ah, boy. Well, I just consider myself kind of a tourist anyway there, but but I do want to, I do want to like enjoy it. So I'm trying to catch up on like what's going on. I know we had a couple other folks around that's trying to get into it too, wanting to play with Azure and the Wing, and just try to figure out like what exactly is going on now. I can tell that once you get caught up, sticking with the expansion stories and stuff it seems like a real good time. Seems like everybody really enjoys it.
Oh yeah,
I want that
And
too.
the lore is
I'm
amazing.
working towards
but
that.
a lot of the lore comes from drops you get,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
reading the flavor text on items.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I think we even had this conversation earlier in the week. Was that?
Yeah, we totally did. Yeah.
Basically every piece of gear you get has its own story.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
if you
amazing.
and if you played back in D1, there were items you found throughout the world called dead ghosts.
Yes.
You could go to a website and view the story of how those ghosts died.
That's so crazy.
Guardians.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
They were like,
You-
I actually literally went nuts collecting all 100 plus of them.
I would
Wow.
say you still occasionally find a dead ghost in 2, but like you just get it immediately. Like you pick
That's
up the
crazy.
shards
Wow.
and then
Well, because it's currency now.
yeah.
So I'm expecting the next time I log in that whenever I get onto Destiny 2, I'm just gonna be like teleported from whatever I was doing last time into some new
After
mission.
Tuesday, yes.
Yeah.
After Tuesday, yes.
It's like what the
Yeah,
heck?
it's gonna immediately throw you into the cutscene for the new expansion.
Yep.
So okay, see, one of my concerns
I'm
is like if I don't
installing it
catch
right
up fast
now. Oh,
enough,
good.
like what about like if what's current now before the new expansion, is that gonna get like taken away?
So the only
eventually?
thing that we
You will
taken over-
finish the story of the expansion within a couple of days of just casual play.
Uh-huh.
The story
Yeah.
doesn't take long.
So the only thing that I think they've confirmed is being vaulted is the war table.
The war table and the Season of Plunder stuff, which makes me sad. I loved Season
Space
of
Pirates.
Plunder. Nobody
Of course you
agrees
did,
with
you
me,
pirate
which is
queen.
why Bungie is removing it.
These
But
pirates was so much fun.
yeah.
I was gonna say, all right, you pirate queen, I know you love it.
Okay, so back to the new expansion though. Like
Mhm.
what is generally the premise? Like I heard that we're going to Neptune,
So there's two major
or is that not
plot
Neptune?
points. Well, no. So there's two major plot points coming to a head right now. One of which has been subtly hinted at since the Destiny 1 beta, and
crap.
the other has been building up since actually before there was a Destiny.
Mhm.
So before Destiny existed, there was the concept of Destiny, which those of you who actually read the game before when this came out, there had
Marathon.
always been this sort of imposing figure in the background who apparently had been pulling the strings against the Traveler they never really gave him a name, even in the ghost logs. And I actually have the log books. Even in the log books, they never actually gave a name to that till like 2 expansions ago when we finally learned the witness. And so the witness isn't. And this is the thing that's driving me nuts. Actually, now that we know about the witness, is the witness isn't even actually apparently the big bad. The witness is just taking advantage of the power void created by the.
Yeah.
So what is the big bad?
We actually still don't know what's behind the darkness.
We never know.
We know there's something opposing the Traveler
Wait, I
beyond
have an idea.
the witness.
I have an idea. This is my theory.
Well, actually, there's a name to it. Actually, there was a name for it.
Before you say it, this is my guess. It's Xehanort.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Sorry, it's a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Yes.
So we don't know what's behind the darkness. That's how it was for Kingdom Hearts players until we got to like the 5th game in the series.
And the Winnower.
The winnower is what's supposedly behind the darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
are these other like giant floating golf balls, or
So
we don't know.
we don't know.
Okay.
Basically,
We know one thing is a giant floating golf ball, and that's the Traveler.
Yeah.
okay?
The-
Is there like a dark
giant
one?
floating pyramids.
Like,
Like
there's a dark one and a
D4
white
is just
one?
coming for you.
So the witness has the fleet of Vex pyramids. We think they're Vex.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know. We
So
don't
the thing
know.
is, we know the Pyramidion was a Vex battleship, and it was a pyramid.
Yeah.
Right. But it was based on the one that was on the moon.
That's also true.
And we don't know where the one from the moon came from, aside from that it leads you into an eldritch hell when you try to venture into it.
The Nightmare
Interesting.
Battle. I hated the
Oh my god.
Anyway, the other plot that's been slowly kind of hinted at through, like this, literally, there were hints of this hidden in the beta of Destiny 1. If you went after the original Ghost Logs before they got rid of them for the release version, is there were hints that there were other survivors of the Cataclysm beyond the Reef and beyond.
Interesting.
And they kind of actually abandoned that entire plot hook shortly after House of Wolves. And then it sort of came back right before Iron Wolves came out, the last Destiny 1 expansion, which also wound up getting dropped completely from the Destiny 2 storyline.
Yeah.
But then when they brought Osiris and Saint 14 back in D2...
Oh, I fucking love C14.
Osiris started dropping hints again about other cities. And it's one of those very subtle things where I literally just ignored them until last season, when we got the first info drop about the city being out there on Neptune. And I went back to like the old lore books, the old lore entries.
Neptune.
And so
Neptune's a new planet for the expansion.
They've apparently been playing with this idea on and off for years. And I just think they never really knew where they were going with it until now.
Honestly, is Bungie... I think they knew exactly where they were going with it. They just didn't know how to get there yet.
The thing you have to remember is back when they first came out with Destiny 2's early parts, with like when Saint 14 was brought back, when Osiris first came back, Bungie wasn't in charge of creativity. Activision was. So
Activision was in charge of getting content out, not writing the story.
No, but they had veto power. You gotta keep that in mind.
Oh yeah.
So again, I don't know. Bungie had left these breadcrumbs behind in D1. Kind of seemed like everyone kind of forgot about them, and then they started coming back in D2 again under when the Activision was writing things, and they kind of disappeared again. And then they just dropped this on us, and it's like, oh, hello, this actually was a thing you guys were preparing to go do something with, and just everyone's again forgetting about it, I guess.
Yeah, no, Bungie has been known to do that pretty much the entirety of Bungie existing.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Even before they
the
were
Jaro and Pathway into Darkness shows up in Marathon.
Yeah.
And Marathon indirectly leads to Halo, and...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Every Bungie game is connected to every other Bungie game.
But the other...
With the exception of Oni, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, Oni... Well, Oni technically connects back to Halo just because, like, the Oni Section 3 nonsense, but that would just be a stretch by me.
Yeah, no, it was just like a nod. That was like an Easter egg nod. But, like, most main, like, Bungie games are all technically set at the same timeline.
What type, without like spoilers though, what type of like new content is Lightfall bringing to Destiny? Like new classes or any new type of game modes or anything like that?
Yeah, so a lot of it we just don't know at this point. Bungie's held the seasonal stuff pretty close to the vest.
Mhm.
What we do know is that so Earth is being invaded by these giant pyramids
Mhm.
and whatever is riding in them.
Mhm.
Part the seasonal story is going to be that we're helping to evacuate the last city and saving prisoners and sort of fighting this war of resistance.
Well, hang on.
Earth.
So I'm still not clear on that. Was Season Defiance going to be set in the last city, or set in the city in Neptune?
No, Season of Defiance is on Earth. Season of Defiance is confirmed on Earth. Lightfall campaign is on Neptune.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a second front here. I think what's probably going to happen is that we're going to, I guess, fight our way out of the last city and then run off to Neomuna, which is apparently this other city that has lasted since the golden age of humanity after the Traveler arrived.
I was wondering about that.
It's just this giant bubble of a city sitting in the clouds of Neptune, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently there's
Last
some
City
sort of
2.0.
technology or paracausal force or whatever that hid it from the original.
The Veil, I think.
Collapse. Yeah.
Was it the Veil? I think that Red called it.
Okay.
Yeah. They're calling it the Veil.
Yeah, that's out.
Which we don't know much about it.
That's right.
Apparently, someone in control of Neomuna someone high up in their government didn't want the secret of their existence to get out. Because at the end of this past season, season 19, we find out that someone had actually snuck into the last city on Earth and deleted every reference of Neomuna from the archives.
Also from every war mind in the system.
Wow.
Except for one, which...
Well,
Rasputin
didn't have a complete archive, I thought he said.
He didn't, but there was that one bunker. That one last bunker. I think
right.
Was it in the Cosmodrome, or... I don't remember where exactly it was.
The Cosmodrome, or it was the... I forget which.
Yeah, that...
Interesting.
So basically, during the Golden Age, humanity literally built Skynet and had it set to defend the solar system against whatever.
Wow.
And then someone taught it to appreciate opera.
Yes, someone taught it philosophy, art, or culture, literally taught this war mind how to be human.
There's an entire strike dedicated to Rasputin's love to opera.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
But yeah, so to cut things short, and unfortunately the season story is going to be going away in 3 days.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm reinstalling right now because they're giving us Witch Queen free on the PS4 until the 27th.
Yes. Witch Queen is free this weekend.
Can you do the expansions out of order? Do you have to do them in order?
You can.
You don't have to do them in order, but some things won't make sense out of order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to try to blaze through Beyond Light to get
I saw
to
your,
Witch Queen.
chat message there about that. I was just thinking, I wonder how long that takes. How long are the expansions generally? Like,
you can get through the story of an expansion in like 10 hours.
Okay. What other type of gameplay is Beyond Light bringing? Like stuff with classes?
I think
Beyond Light gives you
Give
the
you
first
stasis.
of the darkness subclass.
Oh yeah, you get stasis.
So fundamentally, this is literally the battle between light and dark.
Wow.
Just on a universal scale.
All right.
Literally, yeah, I know, but
And Lightfall is, if you still have PS Plus and it's still this month, free this month. So claim that expansion.
The Beyond Light is
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light.
Yeah. Beyond Light. Sorry, not Lightfall.
Yeah, Lightfall's a new one. Yeah.
But Lightfall's also going to be introducing a second Darkness subclass.
Yes, a second Darkness class. We can
And
be Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's at the Spider-Man theme song here.
I saw that. Yeah.
Literally, I get to be Spider-Man on Tuesday. It's gonna be great.
That's awesome.
Spider-Man.
And
Spider-Man.
apparently, because Titans get a thing where they basically just create a pressure wave that you can surf on. We have this kind of informal meme going around the wing where Kanakuri, our resident Titan, is main. Just thunder crashes at something in Strand, the new subclass. And then we're all kind of just surfing behind him.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I was I don't even remember the names of the classes. Like I was a Fire Titan main.
Fire Titan, it's the Soulbreaker?
Solar, I think. Solar, yeah.
Sunbreaker or something like that.
Sunbreaker, Sunbreaker.
I love being
hammers.
able to throw my hammer and reclaim it.
Yes.
Yes.
My main
Yeah,
used to
sounds
be
like
Hunter,
Thor.
but Hunter got like shafted if you
I'm
didn't
sorry,
have
I still love
stasis.
Gunslinger.
Yeah, so
Oh, I do too, but
going
like it
back
got
to the things
Oh, yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
have changed since the last time, I guess, you played, if the last time you played was during Forspoken, was they've actually overhauled all of the light subclasses, so Solar, Void, and Arc. Arc Hunter is currently my favorite. Like, if you remember, was it the end of Rogue One where it's I am one with the Force, forces with me?
yeah.
You can literally reenact that in Destiny. It's great. You're just like this warrior monk and just
Roll through and deflect everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty.
My
well,
old
let's
used to
see.
be a golden gun hunter.
What about
Here's a bit of a spicy one for you. Speaking of lore, Misty.
good chunk for Destiny. we talked. We could probably talk a lot longer for talk about an entire expansion.
We can go for
but
hours.
just kind of getting like this the simple version, for our listeners here.
I was looking at Disney's list of new releases for this year.
Okay.
Down that list is Return of the Rocket.
What?
Oh yes, the Rocketeer. Hell yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
apparently, our hero from the last movie is going to go off with this girl. They're going to do whatever, and the rocket is somehow going to fall into the hands of Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm super. They've been talking about this for years.
And every time
They're
they've also given a different storyline idea. Just
Mhm.
figure that out.
The general gist of it is the new Rocketeer is going to be black,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they've
I actually
changed
like the
how
idea
they
of being
get there a
Tuskegee
bunch of
Airmen.
times. They've redone the story a bunch of times, but like I've been psyched since day one because also the Rocketeer was just a great movie.
Oh, so much fun.
If
I
we're
love
getting on the
that.
topic of remakes, Legend of Dragoon.
That's true.
Oh, it's not even a remake. I hope we get one.
They brought it forward. I thought they updated some of it to.
No,
play
it's
better on the
going to be a
PS5.
PS1 classic.
Ah.
It's
Wow.
just going to be like quality of life fixes, fixing some of the major bugs. That's about it.
But I mean, at least
I
having
think-
that available and accessible,
true.
in current, current consoles, that's a huge
Just
deal.
being able
So
to play it at all.
People
is
have been
awesome,
petitioning
because
that
game is a pain in
forever.
the ass. Yeah.
I've been seeing
Yeah.
those petitions for at least a decade or more.
hmm And then in other remake news, I actually have been
Oh,
just starting on Like a Dragon Isshin.
Oh, nice.
I
You got
guess
Isshin?
technically it is a remake.
It
but
is?
It was never released
Yeah.
in the West.
Oh,
so-
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's they updated the gameplay a bit to make it fit the new engine.
interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was a
and-
remake.
Yeah, so it released in Japan. It was a Japan exclusive.
On the
about-
PS3.
Yeah, like 8 or 10 years ago.
Oh, more than that.
No way.
Yeah, it was like Isshin came out I can't remember if Isshin or Kenzen came out first, but I want to say it was like 15 years ago.
Heaven's Word released 8 years ago, so
which
was on the PS3, but
well, anyway, I've been playing that. I've been starting to get into that. My copy arrived pretty late, so I haven't had much time with it yet. But yeah,
I've been hearing a lot of people like it. I've been hearing a lot of good things.
It's an adjustment for me because what they did, and of course this isn't my first time engaging with media like this, but what they did was they left the original Japanese voice acting in. So it's
nice.
With English subtitles.
Unfortunately, that's what they do for the mainline Yakuza games. They haven't dubbed any of those since Yakuza 1. Except for Like a Dragon.
Yeah, I do not speak a word of Japanese beyond the memes that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely been interesting. Although the story seems pretty good so far, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where it's going.
Oh, you always remember we have coming out soon?
What?
First Contact.
First Contact.
Stellaris.
First Contact.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
New Stellaris expansion.
Yeah. Wanted to ask Sebastian here. Tell us what games coming out in the near future are you looking forward to?
So trying to temper my hype just a tiny bit because I was very disappointed with Atomic Heart, but I am very much looking forward to Jedi Survivor. Very big Star Wars guy. I absolutely loved Fallen Order. Seeing more of Cal Kestis and what looks to be a huge overhaul of the combat and adding new styles in with different lightsabers has me really excited. Outside of that, like I mentioned before, the Resident Evil 4 remake, I'm really interested to see that. And then that's pretty much it. There isn't a whole lot. Actually, Company of Heroes 3. I am really looking forward to Company of Heroes 3.
Good series.
As Reika knows, I very much love my RTS games, and
yes, I do.
Yes, I do know. Company of Heroes was a series I grew up on alongside Command and Conquer, so seeing the third entry come out, I'm really looking forward to it.
Command and Conquer, Red Alert, best game. Don't ask me, right?
Yuri.
Right before we end here, I just want to give a special shout out to it being the Xenogears anniversary. Did you know that?
Yeah, 25th anniversary.
There is a whole slew of Xenogears merch coming out, specifically
Square
Enix
new figures look so good.
They look amazing. They have the Bring Art figures and the model kits that are coming out. They look super cool. Shared a link in our Discord the other day for I think it was the model kits for the mechs. Big Xeno fan here, and I haven't played a whole lot of Blade. Oh yeah. Yeah. She sent me Xenogears. Yeah, I mean, I already knew about it before you sent before you gave me that. But it's an amazing series. Haven't spent a lot of time with Blade. Because when Blade came out, I didn't have a Wii, and just got into Switch a little bit late, not too long ago, and got a copy of Xenoblade. So now I'm going to play it. But big on Xenogears and Xenosaga, some of my all-time favorite games. But yeah, that's a big anniversary. It's really nice to see Square continuing to celebrate it. Even though it's kind of has a weird history with Square, since it
they cut their development halfway through, so Disc 2 is basically nothing but Choo Choo died for your sins.
And then you've got if Xenosaga being the prequel, if you're really if you really want to believe in that. It's kind of up to you.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it's an alternate timeline that could have led to Gears.
Yeah, I just for fun, I just like to imagine it as being that way, because they did smush the idea for the episode 3 and 4 into episode 3 of Xenosaga. So, I mean, who knows? But then where would Xenoblade fit?
They wanted to do a dot hack and have a 4-game series and make people buy a new game with the same resources every other year. But
dot hack is one of my other all-time favorites I almost just mentioned.
Also, if we're talking about remakes in
.hack.
general, everybody buy .hack.gu last recode.
Yeah. The what's his name? President of CyberConnect. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. The guy that plays Pyros, like literally in the story, is a real guy in real life who's the president of CyberConnect. And he said in one of their Facebook things recently that because for some reason CyberConnect is like really hands-on with their Facebook groups. They were saying that if enough people buy last recode and support it, that it might inspire them to like make more and make not just inspire them, but they have to be cleared by Bandai to make more. Banco, but it was just amazing to me that they actually made another episode. Like they made an episode 4 of GU.
Oh yeah,
all these years later, many years later, they just subbed it in. It was shorter, but it was a real fourth episode.
It's shorter, and it plays so much better than the rest of the game, and it looks so much cleaner than the rest of the game.
It's really cool. You know what other series sort of, not all the way, but kind of did something similar was Kingdom Hearts with the back cover prologue thing or whatever it was with Aqua. Like that's an example of an older game getting
2.8.
Yeah, 2.8. Yeah, 2.8
Yeah.
got a you get to, you're playing as Aqua, but like it's still called Birth by Sleep, that segment. So it's like a update chapter to an older game. All these years later, like.
Take Aqua shit. You can make her have like kitty ears if you want. Right?
That's awesome.
It was basically an over-glorified tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Totally, yeah. Just to give somebody give players something to chew on, until the release. Which
and I love Kingdom Hearts. It's one of my favorite franchises ever.
Yeah, it's funny. The last time we were, I think, was it the last episode or episode before last, we talked about, I mentioned that we were talking about stuff we were playing, and I said I was, going through the franchise again, and I was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it just got to, like, towards the end, and now I'm already, like, two games past that point.
Yeah, you were asking me for advice on Birth by Sleep the other day.
Yeah, I'm at the end of Birth by Sleep, and then I'm also playing Recoded and Dark Road all at the same time. So.
Oh, you're playing Recoded? What, you download like an emulator or something, or did you get it for your DS?
I am all about the original hardware all the time.
Hell yeah.
So I have it right here. I actually bought a pristine copy with the stimulus check during the pandemic. And
Nice.
I was just like, I'm just going to catch up on all the games that I've been meaning to catch up on. So I didn't have Recoded. I didn't buy it back when it came out. So,
Recoded's story is kind of shitty, but the gameplay is the best of the DS ones.
Yeah. I don't even know how you would emulate a DS game. There's no touchscreen, like two screens on the screen.
It'd be two screens on the screen, and you don't really need the touchscreen to play the Kingdom Hearts DS games.
I mean, I barely use the touchscreen when I play them normally on a DS.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides just like poking menus and stuff. But I was gonna say like just about anything's possible with PCs. But it's fun. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting entry in the franchise. The skill tree / sphere grid type system. it really reminds me of the sphere grid in that game. It kind of is like really intimidating looking at first because it's actually like a I want to say it's like the Fisher Price version of learning how to work a real circuit board. And it's like what are all these little tiny things on the board? It's like slowly teaching you like circuitry. It's interesting. Anyway, which
is actually interesting because the game is about a data version of Sora.
It really, it is. It is though. And then a little bit of like what's going on in real time outside of that, while they're trying to complete that journal. But that famous journal takes so much to complete.
The only thing that's important from Recoded is what Maleficent is doing during it.
Right. Well, you know me though. I can't move on to anything in a series unless I start at the very beginning and play every single freaking side chapter, like every script, all the way up to the end.
I am very similar. I can skip some games in some franchises, but Kingdom Hearts,
maybe some.
I'll play them all.
Yeah. If it's something that I really love, like anything that I really, really love, I just gotta.
I played shitty ass Unchained, right?
Oh my god.
Like, yeah.
I was in a top 10 fucking guild in Unchained. Like,
wait, what's Unchained?
UX, like Unchained Key.
Oh,
The
yeah,
home
that's
game
right.
gotcha with the medals.
Cross, yeah. I don't know why when I heard
eventually
Chain,
it
I thought
got
of Chain
called
of
Union
Memories.
Cross.
Yeah, that's right.
Union
that's
Cross
right.
is what it got changed to eventually
Yeah.
when they added in.
I remember
the
at first. I
Union
used
missions.
to call it Unchained X, like back when it was only being announced in Japan, and then years later, I got stuck.
Yeah,
with
it's
calling
Unchained
Union
Key.
Cross, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It was Unchained Key because it had like the weird thing through it.
The weird X thing, yeah.
Yeah. But I played the crap out of that. And our guild named Regalia got the Regalia.
The actual, like, the
which
car?
was basically the Keyblade armor.
Oh, okay.
Like what Aqua and Terra and Ventus use when they fly through space.
Yeah, you know what's not fair?
And we got that for being top 10 on our server. And our server was intense.
Playing the prequel for the first time, Birth by Sleep. It's not fair that the cutscenes they have capes, but you don't get a cape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want a cape.
Right?
Nomura really wanted capes.
That's half the reason I am actually a hunter main in Destiny, because
You get an awesome cape.
let's be honest, the capes. It's all about the cape. Yeah.
Yeah, Nomura wanted capes, but it wasn't doable on PSP software.
No capes.
Because he's like, yeah,
capes are always
hadn't
awesome.
emoted it.
I don't care.
Yes.
He hadn't emoted it because it's like, hey, PSP can't handle this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because he wanted real physics for it and to clip.
Yeah,
the
if there was
videos
a
look
cape
so awesome.
in that game, it would probably be really stiff looking, and then it's probably just better leave it out. But
it'd be like old school WoW capes where like your legs clip through it while you're walking.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's about all the time that we have for this episode. Fun little chat about Destiny and a few other quirky little things here. Old games and games we're looking forward to, and things that we love that we're doing. Yeah. It would be awesome, actually, to hear from our listeners. If you guys are looking forward to anything that's coming out soon, or tell us what you're playing too. We love to chat with our community. Those within our Discord, those within the games we play, maybe even outside. We'd love to hear from folks, more often, and just let us know things that you're interested in, or maybe topics that you'd like to hear in future podcasts. I can give you a tiny little spoiler on the next episode. We're definitely going to be talking about Azure's plans for our first ever official St. Patrick's event in Ep.15.
We're already getting drunk for that talk, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm just drunk all the time, so.
Got something very quirky planned, and as well as something in later this spring for the Easter event, which we had quite a bit of egg puns last podcast. We were talking about, but
you never put in the graphic of the rough door with the sign. I'm sad.
I know, because it's just easier to just edit and upload it. But yeah, I mean, we can visualize it. It's pretty easy to visualize. Maybe we could get an emoji on the Discord sometime.
Oh my god.
That would be
just Missy showing
that'd
up
be great.
Like, son, I am disappointed.
But yeah, definitely some details on what we're doing there, and will Azure actually wear green officially for one day next month? We'll see. And what could it possibly be about?
Red for a weekend, so
yeah.
At this point, anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, the cellar. Yeah, our cellar was like bright red and pink and super Valentino-y.
I remember I logged on to do P5S with my static right after you had set that up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, guys,
you walk down there and check it out for a little bit.
To inform you that the FC house is red. and
the other
5 out of 8 people just immediately warped to the FC house, and they're like, what?
It's like the other team claimed our FC house. We have to claim it back.
That's
King of the Hill.
It's not red versus blue. It's blue versus red.
Speaking of our
Sounds
Valentino's event, I meant to mention this earlier. Big thanks to everybody that came out for the Azure Valentino's Day.
Oh yeah.
Specifically, this year was the first official Azure Valentino's Day. It's not the first time Azure's done something for Valentine's or Valentine's themed. Or in-game Valentino's. This is what it is at Final Fantasy 14. They call it Valentino's Day. It carries over from the Final Fantasy 11 Valentino's Day, which is almost the same thing, which is slightly different lore. I don't know about slightly. There's no Ishgard in 11, but different lore. But similar take on the Valentine's holiday. And so Valentino's Day is what we named it in 14. It was a nice gathering. We played some mini games, did some raffles. We had a big party zone set up that Nora was referring to.
Yes.
Lots of snacks and hearts and lovey stuff everywhere, and pink and red, and it's the only time you're going to see our cellar look like that.
Right.
the only time, and now it's back. It's back to normal again with a little bit of a remodel down there in game in 14, and 14 is where we do the majority, or if not all, of our major events. And that's special events, not weekly events. Weekly events, we do have an event in our Destiny wing on Tuesdays, but our special Azure Day weekends, where we do a whole day or weekend of special events to celebrate a holiday or an anniversary or something like that, will always take place in F14. At least at this time. 20 years from now, I have no idea, but at least that's where our core is. And so we're
20 years from now, we'll
special
just have them
events.
teleported straight into our eyes through some kind of laser.
Well, I don't know. There is that
Yeah,
PS9 commercial from 1990 something where they had some sort of computer orb that shot something into their brain, and then they were in the game. So that's always possible.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
they did that
or
with the
it'll be
PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast
Yeah.
It'll
commercials.
be like FF20, where we're just all in a metaverse or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hope it's not the metaverse. I hope it's not, because the
We're all
metaverse is
just
ugly.
floating in some Ready Player One containment
The actual
base.
Facebook
Yeah.
metaverse is horrible
Yes.
looking.
Not the movie, the book.
The book is so much better. Yeah.
Which book?
The movie's
The only thing
okay.
I like about you gotta remember the movie
Wait, what book are
is
you talking
that
about? Reading Player One?
Spielberg
Ready Player
Player
One.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
is that Spielberg didn't want as much of his stuff in the movie as is in the book.
Mhm.
That's something he did on purpose.
my
He wanted to
goodness.
give other artists a chance to be recognized,
You know what?
which I appreciate, but it also did take away a lot of the book's story.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie is good if you've never read the book. Watch the movie before you read the book.
Yeah.
You will enjoy the movie if you have not read the book.
Also, if you don't
Yeah.
actually want to take the time to read it, but still want to enjoy the book, there's an amazing version read by Will Wheaton.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I never read
Yeah.
the book, and I watched the movie. I had the movie, and I loved it. But I had one very critical idea that was bugging me for a while, and throughout the movie I was kind of thinking about it, and then by the end of the movie I was like, oh yeah, that's right, isn't it? You notice that the movie's full of references to things that
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
But they didn't really come up with their own future pop culture. It's just kind of the pop culture
So that's
from the
actually
2000s was so popular
That's
that it
also
just carried
kind of in
on.
the book too.
Oh,
right?
is it?
Yeah, that is explained in
Okay.
the book. Yeah.
And so
Oh.
the thing, so all the pop culture stuff that appears throughout the Oasis is stuff that Holloway was obsessed with in life.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Holloway was a total nerd, so it was
For
just
the late
nerd shit.
for the late 20th, early 21st century pop culture.
he got up to PS1 era, and then that was it.
It makes me
Yeah,
wonder
the
what people in
older
real life
shit.
would respond to that. They'd be like, well, we never get to see any other current characters in references. It's always the older stuff to them because they're in the future.
The other thing also is that in the book, 9% of the references are Steven Spielberg works, which is why when
Yeah.
Spielberg did the
Oh,
movie,
interesting.
he wanted other stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, there was a lot of.
So,
when
in the
in
book,
movie.
the three keys were the Tomb of Horrors, War Games,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
Adventure.
Yep.
Okay.
Adventure was the last one. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, next episode we'll be talking a little bit about the Azure St. Patrick's Day event. The actual name of the event is still pending. So we'll be revealing all of that and more and what to expect. And
We'll come up with something punny by then.
I'm sure by then, we'll have dug deep.
Yep.
Well, some of us will have dug deep into Lightfall in Destiny 2.
Yep.
And we want to invite everybody out there listening. If you're not in our Destiny wing, we would love to have you in the game. Even though we said earlier that the story is a little hard to get into, the gameplay and the stuff we do, together in game is a lot of fun. As somebody I'm somebody that was in the alpha test of number 1 and didn't play since then, and I just got into it
D1.
today. I went from the alpha of D1
was
to
so messy
today of D2, and even though the story is kind of all over the place for somebody that's just popping in right now, it is a lot of fun. So definitely check out the game, and our wing is always accepting recruits. We have plenty of room still.
And even free to players can do Gambit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, Mia and Mistithgar right now are playing a mode that's completely free. Just saying.
Yeah.
And we're kind of getting our asses kicked, so come help us.
I mean, we always care about the Crucible, so that's nothing new.
Excuse me, I
Crucible?
won my last one 150 to 147, but but no.
You were
if you
carried by
want
it.
to
Oh, jeez.
If you want to get into Destiny 2, now is really just the best time. Yeah, the story is a bit disjointed, but really all you need to know is we fell once before. Humanity was almost driven to extinction once before. That same threat is back. Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens and the content to come.
Yep. And last thing I'll leave you with is actually an interesting fan theory that maybe, I'll be interested to see. People are saying there's a lot of parallels with Endwalker, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's kind of unavoidable because it's an apocalyptic story.
You guys were talking about the fight on Earth and then also somewhere else, because it might not be even be similar, because I don't know. I'm not that far in the game yet, but to me it gave me Mass Effect 3 vibes, because you start out on Earth and then you go away for a while and then you come back to defend Earth.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. I mean, you're just going to Neptune,
surprised
but, yeah.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go back to marathon continuity and be like,
"Oh,
no, this
God.
is the Thor or the Spit."
You think Master Chief will ever show up?
No.
I mean, we already have a rifle.
Somehow.
He already has, technically.
Everybody for joining us. That's all the time we have today. Please look forward to our next episode coming out in a couple weeks. We're going to keep this thing going consistent every couple weeks an episode. We did skip that 1 week. Some of our listeners might have noticed, or if you're catching up, maybe you're doing a marathon of Azure Infinitum podcasts. Regardless, we do appreciate all of our listeners, and we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about next time. So please look forward to that. Thank you for listening.
Have a good one.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
Yep.
See you, Sars.